Hey everybody, today we are going to talk about Don Quixote, the novel, which in some terms perhaps defines modern literature, the novel by Miguel de Cervantes, which, fun fact for everybody today, he wrote, or at least got the idea for this while he was serving prison while being a tax collector for the Spanish government, in which case he had some numbers that didn't quite add up. So, of course, naturally, you send those people to prison for not being able to do their math. So, Don Quixote is intended to be a parody of sorts, in which we have this ridiculous look into the world of a knight errant. Imagine, if you will, today as somebody riding around, galloping across in their minibus, looking for quests in the name of their love. Someone in Don Quixote's example, perhaps someone he's never even met, and dubs them with a name to support their quest. So Don Quixote is, of course, about the man himself, Don Quixote, who loves stories of romance and knighthood, and he takes on the name Don Quixote, dubs himself a knight errant, and searches the countryside for quests, along with his appointed squire Sancho Panza. Now, what we have here is a really funny look at the life of a knight. But what Miguel Cervantes does, it's pretty good, is develops a strong point of view for each of these characters, which kind of makes this what is characteristically making it the modern day novel. So you have this idea that you have both of these protagonists who are constantly vying for attention, and through their dialogue, you get to see how they view things differently. And so, in part of the text that this is coming from is when Don Quixote looks over a hill and sees some windmills in the distance. But instead of windmills, he sees horrible fiery beasts, perhaps with fangs and breathing fire. In which case, Sancho does not agree. And so, what this point of view and characterization does is really creates a strong dichotomy between reality and fantasy. Between the two characters themselves, Sancho and Quixote, and also the object of their perception, the windmills versus the giants. And what you have is this dichotomy creating a conflict between the two, these two strong oppositions going against each other. So, what we want to do is think about how this point of view works. How do you take two characters, two protagonists who see the same thing differently, create conflict, and try to make it funny or humorous in the least? So what we want to do is we want to take on that narrative task. We're going to write a short narrative thinking about how we can develop two main characters with different points of view. We're going to develop those points of view not just through their characterizations, but also through their dialogue. And along the way, maybe we'll even make it funny. Let's try it out. Hey guys, welcome to Write With Me. In our first episode here, we're going to be crafting a narrative based on the techniques, the writer skills used in an excerpt from Don Quixote, and we're going to kind of talk through this whole thing. I'm going to kind of babble to myself. It seems like there's three of me sitting here. That's probably because there are. And I want to just show you how this can be done, because writing isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be hard, okay? So in this portion of Don Quixote, we've got the man himself, Don Quixote, self-proclaimed knight errant, running around the countryside trying to slay evil and wage righteous warfare. And the funny part about this, remember, is the conflicting points of view, this dichotomy between reality and fantasy, Quixote and Sancho, windmills and giants, and how that creates this sort of parody. And I don't know if we're going to get as sophisticated enough to make a parody, but what we are certainly going to do is try to write something slightly humorous by practicing the use of characterization and dialogue in our narrative to create that conflict. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off typing. Well, you know, everything starts out with a good description. So the sun was blazing on the city sidewalk. John swore he could hear the souls of and I make lots of mistakes, so you know you're going to see those. We'll fix them as we go. Soles of his shoes peeling from the concrete, screaming in agony each time. Screaming. That was cray right there. Okay, see, there we go. We made a mistake. No big deal. I fixed it, you know. And normally I would have left it if I was in the middle of something, but I was able to stop. Agony each time. John was walking on this startlingly hot summer day with his best friend, whom he would regularly be joined to the hip. With whom, I don't want to hang with modifier, with whom he would regularly be joined at the hip. Terry. I need to capitalize Terry there. Terry was absorbed in his TikTok feed before. So he hadn't. This is a narrative, so I can use contractions and stuff, not that you can't use them otherwise. So he hadn't noticed John. Whoa, stop. I feel like I should leave out the H just because it's confusing me. Stop. I hadn't noticed John stop abruptly. Looking back over his shoulder, Terry noticed that John was gazing wonderingly into a new shop that had just opened up. It was so new, in fact. Terry noted. I'm going to make this internal dialogue instead. I was going to just continue the narrative. It was so new, Terry noted, that the green and yellow balloons wafted in the scorching air, waved frantically, calling for passers-by. It's passers-by, not passerbys. Passers, that's the noun part. Passers-by to enter and peruse. I love that word, peruse. It's such a good word. The name of the shop Immediately, Harry's mind began to wander into vegetary. I was gonna do, it needs to be something stupid. So carrot top, like top of your head. So into wigs and toupees. That word is probably spelled incorrectly, but Word says it is. Made from vegetables. Let's go in. He's excited about it. Terry noted the wide grin and examined the window panes more closely. It was at this point that he said, "Nope, not going in there." John furrowed his brow at his friend's hesitation. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Furrowed his brow at his friend's hesitation. Watching Terry take cautious steps backward, his eyes wide, his mouth agape. Why? Terry only shook his head. His head wildly. He managed to say, "To that little shop of horrors? I think not." Away. John jogged after his friend. Hold up. What's the matter? Why don't you want to go in there? The vegan restaurant. They have roasted rainbow carrots. Harry stopped, turned, but said nothing. Only raised an eyebrow. You know how much I love rainbow carrots. He loves rainbow carrots. Delightful. Yes, I do. Terry, I almost forgot his name. I almost called him Steve for some reason. Terry pointed at the shop. From its doors, tendrils and leaves waved and coiled around ominously. From the shop's open door, he could hear the raspy call. I want to allude to the fact that it's a talking plant, but I don't want to directly state it's a talking plant. So here's what I'm going to do. A monstrous voice akin to that of the well-known plant from the horrors. I think that's right. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Cautious. That's dialogue. I'm not going to change wanna to want to because that's how he's talking. Friends needs to be apostrophized. That's not a word, but I just made it up, so now it is a word. Examine the window panes. Word wants me to join them. Why not? I would have made it 2 words, but you know, whatever. To each their own. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. No, you know what? Hold on. Well-known plant from the Little Shop of Horrors. Yes, I do. However much I respect you as my bestest friend, yes, I intended to do that. In the entire galaxy, I will not, I'm going to italicize that, not risk my life for you this time. I looked at the shop. For no reason for his fro. Fro is actually a word, I don't know why Word didn't like that. For his friend's reluctance and apparent fear, his brow was sweating, and not from the heat. Whoops, from the heat. This was the trickle of dread and foreboding. Oh yeah, foreboding that his friend oppressed. Oh yeah, that's even better. That, oops, oppressed his friend. I'm going in. Just as John turned, he grabbed Terry's shirt collar and dragged him to. No. No, 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 no. Terry squealed and screamed. He wailed and waved. Whoa. I'm gonna pull Okay, yeah, check this out. Okay, so I'm thinking of the Knuffle Bunny, Mo Willems' wonderful cautious tale about when Trixie was on her way home and she had realized she had forgot the Knuffle Bunny, and her dad's like, "I'll try to get her back." And she goes boneless. She did everything she could. He wailed and waved. He did everything that he could to let John know how unhappy he was. He even went boneless. But John, who happened to play high school football and was in far better condition than his scrawny counterpart, hefted him under the armpits and carried him, despite Harry's, well, did not visit Harry's utter refusal. Okay, so let me think. I've got two main characters. I'm not focusing quite enough on. Okay, so here we go. I need to refocus that. All right, so just as he was being dragged across the precipice, is that right? Precipice. Harry felt a. How would you describe that? Smooth and leathery coil down his leg. It wrapped itself around him, constricting blood flow. He threw himself down onto the tiled floor and frantically waved his arms. He felt another coil around his neck, squeezing him. I can't breathe. Panted. At this point, John dropped Terry, looked at their customers, and shrugged his shoulders. He ordered the glazed rainbow carrots he desired. Harry flopped on the floor, fish out of water. Dawn sat down. Another customer asked, "You know that guy?" John shook his head without hesitating. Nope. Thought he might be hungry. I was going to buy him a meal. Now he can survive on his own. Meanwhile, Harry had finally stopped wailing. Meanwhile, Terry had finally stopped wailing and lay upon the floor. What's this? Now I gotta go back and tweak a bunch of stuff because I'm sure you noticed lots. Whoa, okay, so a couple extra spaces. Blood flow, they say, is wrong. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna change that because I like that. Friends needs to be apostrophized. I'm going to hyphenate this just to make word happy. Wanna is alright. Alright. Scorthing. That's not what I meant to say, is it? Scorching. TikTok probably needs to be one word. Abruptly. Lovely. All right. So, and there you have it. So we've got 2 points of view. Terry and John, they see the shop differently, and you have this ridiculous situation. It's not exactly a parody, but it is kind of funny because you get to see how he's overreacting to the situation that doesn't even exist. And then the customers even get to chime in on it too. Okay. So, that's just an example. The copy of this can be uploaded, but first, I need a title. A good title. This is a short, so I'm going to quote it rather than italicize it. Vegan. All right, and there you have it. Two contrasting points of view, the same thing, creates conflict between the two characters also. Hopefully it's kind of funny. I think it's funny. Hopefully you think it's funny too. Copy can be uploaded and downloaded at your leisure if you would like to mark it up yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.